Hey everyone, in this video I'd like to review the Fender American Special Telecaster. I've got this model in the studio at the minute, which is from 2017 or 2018 I believe, and it's in pretty good shape actually, other than just kind of a little ding right there, which hopefully you can see. But yeah, it's a cool guitar, so whilst I've got it in the studio, I thought I'd make a quick review on the guitar and tell you all about it. But just before we get into it, if you are new to jazz guitar and you want a structured guide on how to play jazz guitar, then please check out the link in the description to a free beginner jazz guitar course, which I have. So let's begin just by talking about some of the specs of this guitar which may make it interesting. So the American Special Series Telecaster basically puts genuine US made Fender quality into the hands of players at any level. Of course, that's the tagline that Fender used when describing this. It's got a maple neck with a 9.5 radius, and it's got 22 jumbo frets, which are really nice actually. If you've ever played the kind of vintage spec Fenders, which have got those tiny frets, they tend to wear out quicker, so the jumbo frets have much more height on them, so you won't really be faced with a refret or a fret level as frequently, I don't think. And the 9.5 radius does make bending on this guitar much easier. So it's kind of effortless to do those big bends on this guitar, which is a nice feature, I think. In terms of the pickups, this guitar has custom shop Texas Special pickups, which come, I think, in some of the Japanese Telecasters and a few other Fender guitars, which, you know, basically don't have stock pickups in. That tends to be a popular choice by Fender. These guitars were produced from 2010 to 2018, and I believe the idea of the Fender American Special series was basically to make more affordable American guitars, which is very similar to an American standard Telecaster. As far as I can see, it basically is the same guitar, but it uses different electronics and has 21 frets instead of 22. So that's kind of how this goes. So what do I think about this guitar? Well, let's share some of the sounds with you and see what you think. So we'll start with the neck pickup. This is how the neck pickup of this guitar sounds. In terms of the amp, I should say I'm using my trusty old Peavey Backstage 50. I'm using a Dunlop Jazz Free pick today. And in terms of the strings on this guitar, I'm not sure. They're very old, they're very worn in, they really need changing. But they feel like 10s, they could be 9s, but certainly 10s to me. The middle pickup. Then the bridge pickup. So as you can hear on this particular Telecaster, it's got the kind of typical Tele thing where the neck pickup is much softer and quieter. As soon as I start to go through the other pickups, you can hear the increase in volume. And it gets pretty loud by the time you get to the bridge pickup, so that's worth noting. So, but it's got a nice sound. Plays really good. It feels like a quality guitar. The frets are really nice. There's no obvious kind of fret edges as I roll my hand across, and the fit and finish of the guitar is great. I've got to tell you, the quality on the finish looks excellent. I like the fact that it's got kind of all the saddles, unlike the the standard series. I quite like that. The pots and the volume feel very good to me. I'm not sure if they are the tiny Japanese style pots, the tiny pots that you get in the kind of Fender Japan guitars or not, but they feel quality and they work great, and the switch feels very sturdy as you move it back. So that's one thing when I was reading about these, is that the electrics, I'm not sure how they differ from the standard, but they feel quality to me. Now the pickups, it sounds okay. It sounds like a Tele. The pickups can always be changed. The Texas Specials, they're all right. They sound Tele-ish, but they're not the best, I don't think. When you kind of hear a Seymour Duncan Alnico Pro 2 in the neck pickup, or a DiMaggio Twan King, or any kind of good quality pickup, you definitely can hear the difference. But they're not bad. They're not bad until you've heard something better. Then they're probably not going to sound too terrible. It's not like the bridge pickups thin or anything like that, but if it was me, I'd definitely want a good quality broadcaster in the back pickup, and a broadcaster style pickup, and a good jazz neck pickup here. And just looking at these pickup heights, I can actually tell that the neck pickup is quite a lot lower than what I usually tend to set it, which might help kind of the pickup imbalance there. So yeah, that I guess concludes the review of this American Special Series Telecaster. In my opinion, it really does compare to American standards. I had an American Standard Strat in, and this feels very similar. Weight wise, I don't actually have anything to measure this with. I think it's about the same as my Japanese Tele. I would guess it's under £8. I'd say if I was really kind of thinking it'd be on the heavy side, it might be slightly over £8, if anything. The neck feels very comfortable. It's probably that kind of, it's not thin or anything like that. I don't know if you'd say it's the kind of modern C shape or whatever, but it feels great to play, and it's kind of not too lacquered or anything like that, so you can really move your hand up and down nicely. And that decal, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's kind of the the 70s Telecaster decal, and it's got a double string tree as well, and it's got the Fender stamped tuners, as well as the Made in Corona sign there on the head too. So yeah, a quality guitar. Unfortunately, the only thing that's different from an American standard is you can see on the neck plate there, it doesn't have the Fender stamp on the back. So perhaps that's a cost cutting measure, but I do like that stamped Fender neck plate. So that's one thing that's slightly different. So, whilst I've got this in the studio, I thought it might be worth kind of comparing both of these. I've currently got two rosewood neck Telecasters in, so I thought it might be worth kind of discussing how this might compare to something else which is potentially in a similar price range. Actually, this is my 62 reissue Japanese Telecaster with upgraded pickups and electronics. So as I said, weight wise, they are mostly the same as I hold them up now. The American Standard feels marginally heavier, but it's by no stretch a heavy guitar, really. What can I say? I mean, personally, I don't know. I mean, the Japanese guitar is not a bad guitar, but to me, the American Telecaster just feels a little bit nicer. I can't quite put my finger on why it is, but the finish and the feel of the guitar, it just feels like it's a little bit higher quality, if I'm honest with you. Although, in its defence, if you look at the rosewood on the Japanese 62 reissue Telecaster, that does seem a little bit darker as well, although this guitar does need a setup, so perhaps when you put some lemon oil and some setup work into this, then that might fix that. Of course, in terms of preference, all these Japanese, or I think most of these reissue Fenders, have these kind of lacquered finishes on the back, where this is a little bit more of a, I guess you would call it a satin finish, which feels more comfortable. And of course the that neck radius, that 9.5 neck radius, does make this one a little bit more easier to play for bending and stuff like that, but it doesn't have the binding. The Japanese Telecasters have this lovely binding there, but to me that kind of darker shade of sunburst on this, just, I don't know, the grain, as you can see on this, looks a little bit nicer. And if I hold this in certain light, you can see it looks like they've both got 3-piece bodies as well. I think I can see seams, but I think they're just a little bit more tastefully disguised in this guitar actually. So yeah, I mean, they're both cool guitars, but maybe because this is the new toy in the house, then this might, for me, just feel a little bit nicer than the Japanese Telecaster. So that concludes my review of the Fender American Special Telecaster. What do you think about this guitar? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you found this video, please remember to click the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.